It's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these, and the big change is I'm taken now, ladies and gents, so put it back in your pants because you can't have me. Not that you could have had me before, or that you even would have wanted me, but you know, that's what's happened with me. The past couple of weeks, the past month or so actually, have been pretty focused on getting to the day of the wedding, getting married, and then trying to have some time off afterwards. But now I'm trying to get back into the full swing of things. I was trying to get back into the full swing of things last week, but it didn't really go my way. There seems to be a process that I haven't quite got my head round in the past like 20 years of me working in various different jobs, that the week after the holiday is always just shit. You never get as much done as you want to, can't quite get your head back into work, and despite the fact that I love doing what I'm doing, it just didn't go how I wanted it to go. I mean, there were some successes, I managed to get some videos out, but I didn't get into it full steam ahead like I wanted to. But we're here now, and we're recording again, and I'm eager to do more. There's a lot of kind of scary, exciting things happening at the moment, and the scary thing is that in my head I'm thinking I might have to reinvent my content all over again, certainly on short form platforms. The frustrating thing is it's working in some areas, and in other areas it's not working. But with TikTok specifically, let's talk about that, because that's where I'll focus like the majority of my energy for the majority of the time that I've been building up content. I feel like I'm just back to square one, like 200-300 views again, struggling to get past that, not really getting out in front of the people I was before. Bearing in mind that, you know, at one point I was consistently getting 10, 20, 30,000 views and gaining followers pretty consistently. It's just not going that way at all. So I think I need to go back and be a little bit analytical and say what was working before. But also, I need to be willing to experiment again. I don't think I'm going to get the success that I want to get by just doing the same thing over and over again. And that's partly why it's exciting, partly why it's scary. It's exciting because it's like, oh, I can do whatever I want, I can make whatever I want. And it's scary because I'm like, do I really want to start again from scratch? Do I want to reintroduce people to a new type of content? Do I want to start figuring out a new type of content? But I really think I've got to do that. I don't think there's a choice for me. Because if it's not working, I have to do something new. I have to do something exciting. I have to do something different. I remember in my last job, right, I said to the CEO of the business that we can't keep making small changes and expecting big results. If we want to see big results, we have to take big leaps and make big changes. And I'm not even taking my own advice. I'm making tiny changes, or I'm doing little tweaks and I'm expecting big shifts in results. The frustrating thing is I can't quite pinpoint like why things have tailed off a little bit in terms of views. And that's frustrating. I want to be able to go, well, actually I did this, or something wrong with this video, or, you know, TikTok doesn't like me because of this, but I just don't think that's true. I think the content has become stale and I haven't moved quickly enough to, you know, to stay current in what TikTok is pushing out. On the other hand, you know, I got my head around YouTube Shorts to an extent, and the type of content that I'm doing now is working well on that platform, although I did have to start a whole new YouTube channel because my existing YouTube channel just doesn't push shorts at all, just does not do it. I'd put a hefty fee on the fact that it is unfixable by anyone outside of YouTube, because the same content that I was posting on my own channel that was getting, you know, 3, 4, 5 views and not getting pushed at all, you know, in some cases getting 10, 15, 20,000 views on a brand new channel. So, you know, that's going quite well, but in terms of my TikTok, I just have to do something new. I've got to do something brave, I've got to do something different. And I was watching The Bear, you know, The Bear, the TV show about the chefs, the young chefs trying to make their way in the world, and season 3's just come out. Well, it came out a couple of weeks ago, I think, or maybe a couple of months ago. I'm a little bit behind. And I watched that. I really loved the first 2 seasons of it, right? And the 3rd season was very different to how they'd done stuff previously. It was much slower. It was much more artistic. It was much more experimental. And I was annoyed with myself because I found myself going, oh, I want this fast-paced cooking show where they're swearing and screaming at each other. I want what they gave me before, I don't want this new thing. And I'm thinking about it now, I'm going, oh right, they're kind of experimenting, they're kind of trying to push the envelope, they're trying not to make the same series again. So I was annoyed with myself that I didn't appreciate what they were doing. It was different and it wasn't what I was expecting, and I think that's part of the issue, is that I went in there with expectations. But anyway, Olivia Colman's in this third series a bit more, and she plays, you know, she's kind of positioned in the show as being one of the best chefs in the world, running one of the best restaurants in the world. And no spoilers, but there's a section of it where Bear asks the Olivia Colman character, what would you have told yourself when you were younger? Like, what do you wish you'd have known? And she says, you have no idea what you're doing, and that makes you invincible. And I think that's just such a wonderful thought, because I've recognised this in other people and failed to recognise it in myself like multiple times, where I've seen people that when they start out in an industry, they're young and scrappy and they're just trying to make stuff, they're trying to create things, and they don't know the rules yet. They don't know what they can and can't do, so they just do what they want. They do what they want with the intentions of creating something amazing, and then as they go on, as they become more successful and they get more into the industry, they start to become bound by these unwritten rules that the industry lays down. And you look at them and you go, well, you know, where's the guy that was just making stuff? You know, let's take the film industry as a hypothetical, right? And you know, what I'm doing now, just starting out, I've got a camera and a microphone, I'm just going out and filming what I can. I'm not doing it consistently enough, and I'm not doing it creatively enough. There's lots of issues with what I'm doing right now, but imagine a hypothetical person who's going out in the world and they're just making short films and they're making stuff and they're not really considering what they can and can't do. And they get some success, and over time they make bigger films, etc., etc. And then suddenly they're saying, you can't make a film for less than £2 million, or you can't make a film for less than £20 million, or you can't make a film for less than £100 million. And these are the rules that are kind of put in place by an industry, and these people forget that at one point they were walking around with, you know, a camera worth a couple of £100 just making things, and those are the things that got them noticed. Those are the things that put them in a position to make films that were worth 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, whatever that might be. And I think that's where I am now. I'm at a point where I need to be scrappy and innovative and, you know, just make stuff and create stuff, rather than going like, what are the rules? What do I need to do? I should be looking for sponsorship. I should be getting followers. I should be getting this many likes. I should be getting this many views. Just fuck all of that. It's such boring stuff, that is. Such boring stuff. But the problem with it is it feeds something in you. It feeds something in your ego. It feeds something inside you that makes you want more of it. They're like tiny little fucking crack rocks, and you have a little bit and it's very Moorish and you want more. That's what likes and follows are. And it's horrible. It's horrible that you so quickly get like pulled into that space. You so quickly get drawn into this environment where it's like people say to you, or you get advice from people and say, these are the things that you need to do, rather than just going out there and going, what do I want to make? What do I want to do? So this is where I'm at. I've got no idea what I'm doing, and that is incredibly powerful. I've got no idea what I'm doing, and that makes me invincible, because I'm not following the rules laid down by anyone else. And that does mean that I might make some mistakes, and it does mean that I'm gonna fuck up, and it does mean that I'm gonna get things wrong, and it does mean that sometimes I'm gonna post a video that just gets 50 views. For some reason, TikTok doesn't like it. And sometimes I'm going to post videos that get millions, and I've got no idea why. But I'm just going to carry on. I'm going to make stuff, and I'm going to be fucking brilliant at it. And I'm not going to give a fuck. There's a fear in me that I cannot quite put my finger on, that is stopping me from like committing to some of the bigger projects that I want to do. And I'll be honest, like, money is at the back of my mind a lot at the moment. money is definitely a factor in this. You know, my last job, the pay for the last job is coming towards an end. I've got a bit of money put in savings. I've got a little bit of money left to come. Kind of the wedding stuff is all paid off, but I'm still thinking, you know, in this amount of time, you know, I've got bills to pay, I've got things to do. And that's a scary thought. And I think, you know, I always said coming into this, like, I didn't want it to be about money. I didn't want anything I was doing artistically for the outcome to be to make money, because I think that taints it and it makes it, it changes what you produce, it changes what you make. And I didn't want anything artistic to ever be tainted by the need to make money. I need to make money, but I think there are ways that I can do that that don't affect the art. I never want to start an artistic project with a thing of going, if I do this, then it's going to make me £1 million. I want to make it regardless. I want to make it regardless of whether I get paid for it. And I've got some projects coming up like that where I'm like, yeah, I really want to make this content. I really want to do this experiment. But there's still some stuff that I'm holding off on. And I don't know why I'm doing that. Part of it is a commitment of going, this, so much of what I do, right, is produced in, you know, 10 minutes or an hour or a couple of hours in terms of the actual filming. The editing process. The most I'll spend on something is maybe half a day, depending on, you know, how long it is. And I'm in a position now where it's like, what if that thing takes 6 months? What if that thing takes a year? And that's not about how long it's going to take me, because I get this whole thing of going, well, you can, you know, just put more effort in and do it quicker. What if I'm following someone who's creating a game? What if I'm following someone's training journey to do a marathon? It's like, well, that thing is bound by how much time it takes them to actually do it, right? If I'm following someone that's making a game, say for example, they were making Red Dead Redemption 3 and I managed to get in with Rockstar, and I'm going to follow them from the start of creating that game all the way to the publication of it, right? That is a 10-year project. That is a 10-year project. That's what I have to commit to. That's what I'd have to commit to. What an opportunity that would be. But how scary would it be to go, I'm going to commit to this for 10 years? And it might work and it might not work. And I'm doing it because I think that process is interesting, and I love, you know, capturing people's stories. And maybe that's I need to leap into that a little bit. Maybe I need to jump in and go, fuck it, I am going to make this thing. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to see how it turns out. Maybe I'll start off shorter and go, let me make a little 10-minute thing. Maybe, I don't know, but what I'm saying is I've got to commit to something that is more than 10 minutes worth of work. Why the fuck am I scared of that? Who knows? Who knows why I'm scared of that? It's something I've got to get over, and I've got to get my head around this money thing. I've got to say, right, I need to make money. I don't need to make huge amounts. I've got a budget of things that I need to pay for on a month-by-month basis. How can I make that amount of money without it kind of tainting and affecting the more artistic work that I want to do? The money will come with time, with the artistic stuff. I've got no doubt about it. But it just can't be my end goal. It can't be my focus. I've just got to focus on creating things that I want to create. I don't know what's next. What I need to do is fucking create prolifically. I need to create so much, so often, at so high a quality that I am unignorable by the fucking masses. That's what I need to be doing. I need to master this craft so effectively that it would be crazy to ignore me. And that sounds arrogant, I know. And I don't mean it to sound arrogant. I just mean it to sound like what it is. I am the only person that can make this work. I am not defined or dependent on an algorithm. I'm not defined or dependent on other people and what they're doing. I cannot control any of that stuff. All I can control is what I put out on a daily basis, what I produce, how good that is, how much I'm pushing myself forward, how much I'm challenging myself. And I need to have patience. I can't keep thinking in terms of what the next 5 minutes, what the next 10 minutes look like. I need to think about fucking legacy and longevity and creating something that is impactful for as many people as possible, and creating work that I'm really proud of, not work that I can just produce quickly. It's such a fine balance to try and get. How do you produce prolifically and be patient and take your time with the work that's being done and make it as good as it can possibly be? I don't know, this is all stuff I'm figuring out, but look, I appreciate you. Everyone who's watching this, no matter how few those people are, I appreciate you. I'm grateful to have you here. I'm grateful that you're taking the time and the interest to even look at what I'm talking about on a day-to-day basis. Most of this is just me figuring out what it is I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how I get to the next stage, how I develop, how I get better. And I really hope that at some point something I produce resonates with you and has impact, because none of this is for me. The lessons are all for me. Everything I'm talking about is for me. But the work I'm producing in general, I'm producing it because I want it to have an impact on you. I have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.